For every revolutionary decade in our history, an iconic Ray-Ban style marks the moment. Now the story continues with Essilor Eyezen lenses, advanced single-vision lenses designed to relax and protect your eyes. They reduce visual fatigue from digital screens. Pair the most wanted Ray-Ban frame with Essilor Eyezen lenses for iconic style and relaxed vision. Ask your Boots opticians for more information.
Hello and welcome to See What's Possible, the podcast brought to you by Boots Opticians, where we meet some of the nation's most inspiring sports stars, media personalities and performers. We discover the secrets behind their phenomenal achievements and the mindset they instill to battle against all odds. I'm your host, Myleene Klass, and let me now introduce our guests. First up, Milly Pickles. Milly is a truly inspirational woman. In 2017, her life changed after a traumatic accident at the age of just 20, resulting in a below-knee amputation. Determined, though, to show how you respond to adversity is what truly matters, Milly now advocates that the main barrier to greatness is the mind. Just to prove it, her recent achievements include becoming the first amputee to complete the Red Bull 400, running the London Marathon twice, and as a reporter for Channel 4 at the Paris Paralympics. Joining her, iconic Paralympian Ellie Simmonds. Now, Ellie's journey exudes pure positivity after bravely coming to terms with dwarfism, adoption, and bullying by a minority of coaches during her career. She's an 8-time Paralympic medalist and the second youngest competitor to win not just a medal, but 2 gold medals. After retiring from professional sport, Ellie moved into TV, appearing on Strictly Come Dancing, and was the subject of 2 very personal ITV documentaries, Ellie Simmonds, Finding My Secret Family, and Ellie Simmonds, Should I Have Children? So, girls, so lovely to have you both here. I feel like you both know each other, but you were saying as we were walking down here that you worked together at the Paris Paralympics, but you were never in the same room together.
Yeah, it was I think it was our debut of broadcasting and then like interviewing, wasn't it, last year? But I think the Paris Games were so big that you were in the athletes' hotel, weren't you?
Yeah, athletes' hotel in the GB house, and it was such a big production that so many of us didn't actually see each other. We were like ships in the night.
Yeah,
it's so disappointing because in my head I feel like you all just sort of live together and you just all sort of see each other. But yeah, I suppose it's pretty gargantuan production, if you like.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's so nice. Like, I saw you guys on TV and you interviewing the athletes and things, and it was such an amazing team to be part of. Like, for me, it was my first games from the other side, which I absolutely loved. Like, it was nice to see my teammates and Paralympics GB smashing it, but then also to be able to talk about the athletes and just, feel the buzz of the games. Like, it was such an amazing summer. The Olympics, the Paralympics, seeing Team GB and Paralympics GB smash it, and then talk about it and have that opportunity to be talking with so many, like the likes of Claire Balding and Rose, and we had a great team, didn't we, for the Channel 4 games.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was like a proper family feel at the same time, even though we didn't see each other all the time. There was so much support and everyone was checking in with each other. But for me, it was my first ever really interviewing style on TV.
You were presenting.
Yeah.
I mean, how did that feel for you?
It was mega.
Yeah.
I have to say, I have a huge respect for presenters because there is so much going on that you don't even realise. And I didn't have that much training. So I was...
Well, you've trained everywhere else.
Yeah,
You've had enough training.
So it was just so fun. And I actually loved it when things went wrong because we were saying earlier, actually, it gives you such an adrenaline rush that when I went off air, I was like, I need to do that again. I need to do that again.
It's like masochistic. Why would you want that? What kind of things went wrong?
So I was given the wrong in-ears. And then just before going live, they said, can you hear the producers? I said no. So I had no idea when to throw it back to Billy Munger. And then when I was talking, I had playback in my ear. So I could hear myself speaking and then the athletes I was interviewing. So I couldn't actually process what was going on. And I had no idea that you could just take it out.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You thought you were just lumbered with this.
Yeah, because I didn't have like that much training. So I had no idea. So I was so impressed with myself that I actually managed to respond to them and ask questions and think on the spot.
And you had a whole disco going on inside
Yeah,
your head with
I
this
did.
earpiece.
It felt like I was like living in a different world. It was crazy. So then when I guessed when to throw it back, I was 30 seconds late, but I was just proud that I got through it.
Oh, let the producers worry about that.
Yeah. But no, it was so much fun. I loved it.
But sometimes, isn't it, when things go wrong or you have maybe a bit of difficulties or something's not as planned, actually you learn the most about yourself, don't
Well,
you?
Yes, agreed.
Ellie, it's funny you say that. That's exactly why we're here today. You're quite right. When things go wrong, the saying is you learn more from pain than you do from pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess, has that been your experience?
Yeah, very much so. And even when I was an athlete as well, like when times went well in training, in competitions, you'd just be on the bus and like you'd just be on this joyful high. Whereas when like a session or a race didn't go to plan, that was the time like you evaluate everything, isn't it? Like I always used to sit with my coach and think, what could we have done better? What could I have done differently? And those are the times where you learn actually more about yourself during those low moments to the high moments as well. I think also it's a support system around you. I think since retiring and being in this next chapter of life, having that support system is so important to me, and the team around you with whether it's coaches, friends, family, loved ones, it's that whole team is supporting you throughout the journey is the most important, I think, too.
Has that been your experience, Milly?
Yeah, 100%. Like when I lost my leg, my family really were with me every day and got me through it. And I think, yes, it happens to me, but it also happens to the people around me.
So this is, well, do you know what? I'm going to take you right back to the beginning because you're starting with your injury.
Yes.
And I'd like to know how that came about, as much as you wouldn't wish to share with us. But you're quite right. It did happen to you. But I'm looking at you as a mum already thinking, your mum watching you go through all of that. I can't even imagine. So take us back to the very first day that this happened.
So it's actually quite funny because I woke up with that Friday feeling. I was so happy.
Of course it happened on a Friday.
Yeah. And I was like, happy Friday. Like I was buzzing. And I went into the office and I bought everyone Krispy Kremes and they were like, why? And I was like, it's Friday. I was so happy.
Krispy Kremes, I love a Krispy Kreme.
I love a Krispy Kreme. Yeah, it's like a special thing for me now. I'm like, and it's actually my accident anniversary, 8 years this month. So I'm going to get a Krispy Kreme just to like honour it. But no, so I was really happy. I was working at Chelsea Football Club at the time in marketing, and my accident happened later that day. And it's really strange because my mum called me an hour before my accident and she said, Milly, I'm really worried about you. I think something bad's going to happen.
You're kidding.
No.
She had some kind of intuition.
Yeah. And I said, no, Mum, I'm fine. Like, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'll be home in an hour.
It just came out of the blue for your mum.
Yeah. And I was like, I'll be fine. And so I didn't come home. And my dad was like, she'll be fine. You know, she'll walk through the door in a minute. And then somebody that found me basically called my mum because I gave the number, and then she said she was in such a state of shock she didn't actually process what this person was saying. She was just like, I need to just get to the hospital. So I got electrocuted, and my brain's really fragmented on what I do and don't remember, and I've really tried to remember. I think it's so important for me to know because I want to own my story. So I'm actually going through EMDR therapy at the moment, which can potentially bring things back. Because, I've never shared my story online because what I do know is really messed up. And so I'm going to start writing a book because I think that's the most therapeutic place for me to do it.
When you say messed up, do you mean the situation itself or just the confusion of what happened?
The situation itself is messed up. The bits that I do remember, because your brain's meant to protect yourself, I think the bit that I do remember you would think is the worst part. So the bit that I don't remember, God knows what happened to me. So there's just so many elements to the story that is really messed up. So me losing my leg is just like a piece within that. So it's a lot bigger than people even realise. So that's why I just need to write it in a book.
It definitely sounds like something you need just to really take your time processing and putting into some kind of order. It's a very brave thing to do indeed. You talk a lot about your mum. What was her role in this for you?
So my mum, I think I coped so well with my accident because she's so strong. She's always been the sort of person that's like, I can do that. I'll figure out a way. I'll do that. And so I found it easier because I had her support and she was giving me such great advice of like, you know, you'll be able to do everything you did before. You'll just do it differently. And having that repeated in my ear constantly through 2.5 months in hospital and like 25 surgeries. I feel like I'm big on affirmations, but it felt like my mum was doing that for me, and it ingrained into my mind that I'll be okay. So yeah, it's quite funny as well because my mum, like I said, I can do that energy. And so when the surgeons would come into the room and suggest what we're going to do in the surgery, my mum would give ideas, and like
Your mum went Grey's Anatomy.
yeah, she really did. And like some of the stuff that she said, they were like, that's a great idea. And they did it. Yeah. I feel like in another life, my mum was meant to be a surgeon. So then after the 2.5 months in hospital, I went home and my mum basically became my second nurse, and she decided to retire. So she just...
What was your mum doing previously?
She had her own business doing soft furnishings. So
she was working in soft furnishings, so she had premonitions of what was happening to you, and then she told the surgeons how they should operate on you.
Yeah, she is a wonderful woman.
She sounds remarkable. But it is interesting because you're right. It of course it happened to you, but there is a greater ripple effect around everyone else, and they become your support network or not. So she sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, I was super lucky because being in hospital, you realise how many people don't have that, which made me really sad. And so my parents and I would go around to other people on the ward and just like chat to them. And like my surgeon, it became a thing on the ward that I was everyone's agony aunt. And he would give out my mobile number, and then people would just call me, and I'd sit there and I'd be like, you're okay. Like, it's just, we became like part of the ward family because we were there for so long. So yeah, I love that because it made it more interesting because I got to know people, and like I like to help people. So
you sound so positive, but there must have been moments where you just looked down, and you're a young woman and so able. Did you not have moments where you just thought, what has happened? How am I going to come through this?
I'd say only once, and it wasn't for long. I just thought, oh my God, will I be attracted? Like, will people be attracted to me? Sorry. Does this make me ugly now? And then very quickly, I just thought, Milly, that is not a thought that is helping you. So I just flipped it on its head. And I said, if somebody doesn't find me attractive, then I don't want to be with them anyway, because what an awful human being. So with the times in hospital, any time I struggled, it would always be like, right, okay, how can I flip this narrative on its head and like rewire my brain to think of something else? Because I think our brains are problem-solving devices, right? Like whatever question you give your brain, it will find the answer. So instead of me being, why did this happen to me? Why me? It would be like, right, okay, I can't control this. This has happened. What can I do to get through it and be happier? So I started learning Spanish when I was in hospital. And like when I got out of hospital, I started learning to DJ. I always wanted to do it, and I had so much time. I thought, why not? And so I just always focused on something that would help me rather than harm me. So I think that's what really carried me through the whole entire hospital experience.
Help you rather than harm you.
Yeah.
And that's a really powerful statement. It really is. There was a quote that I found that you'd said, leg or no leg, at least I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true, because I just feel so grateful to be alive. I feel unbelievably lucky. I feel like I've been given a second chance at life. I was so close to losing both my legs right at the top. My incredible surgeons saved 1.5. I have so much to be grateful for. So leg or no leg, I'm here, I'm alive. And that's why I
can speak Spanish. Yeah, and I can run a deck now.
Yeah. But it's like, it just made me feel like I've always been driven, but it increased it tenfold because I realised I'm here, so I've got to make the most of my time whilst I'm here. So that's why I've just gone on a rampage to do so many fun things.
Do you think, like, you with your positivity and like your affirmations, do you think that was from your parents giving it to you, or like have you always been that positive?
I don't know. It's interesting. People have asked that before, and I really wish I had a direct answer, because I think when I think back to doing sport when I was younger, I would dread doing it. But the moment I got on that start line, it was almost like I was protecting myself by dreading it. It was really like a backwards thing. And then I got on the start line and I was like, right, Milly, you've got this. And then suddenly the positive affirmations would come in. So I would do it to myself.
Milly, you've completely changed your direction career-wise, which I suppose after what you've said doesn't come as a surprise with learning Spanish and learning decks. But what made you do that?
So it was actually kind of by accident. So I just wanted to find other amputees online because I wanted to see that in the future that I would be okay. and there wasn't anyone posting anything. So my mum and my sister said, right, why don't you just start posting and hopefully amputees can find you? But it was never to grow a following. It was never to, change career.
You just wanted to find your
I just
community.
wanted to find my community. Yeah. And so my sister downloaded TikTok and she's older than me. And I thought, right, well, if you've downloaded it, I can download it. Because, it was always a kids app. So I think you're cool. So then I'm fine. And so I downloaded it. And there was this challenge going on where there were markers. I don't know if you remember it. And people with really flexible legs would get their leg all the way around the markers.
I've seen that. Don't tell me you did that.
And I took my leg off and then just pointed at all the markers. And then that video got like nearly 2 million views. I thought, what the hell? Yeah. So then I just kind of posted from there. And then I realised, because I knew that when I was saved after my accident, that there was a reason for it and I needed to find my purpose. So I was always conscious of it. And then when that happened, I thought, maybe this is it. Like, I've dealt with this so well. Maybe I'm the person that I could be the person that I needed for other people. So it just kind of went from there. And then within 9 months, I was a full-time content creator and have been for 4 years. Oh. So it's been a wild ride for sure.
And what did it feel like to have connected up a community that didn't have, I suppose, a voice or a face?
So good. I think for me, that's my proudest achievement in the whole entire, my whole entire life, probably, to be honest, because I know how hard it is to not know what your future could look like when it's happening to you. So the fact that people can see that with me and then they can ask me questions and I can let them know, like, you will actually be okay. I think I know how powerful that is. So it's so fulfilling for me. And I love that I've been able to do that.
What kind of questions do they ask you?
So many different questions. Like, when you lose a leg, you aren't really told much. So there's a lot of logistics questions of what legs can you get? Like, do you live a normal life? How much are you in a wheelchair? Just all of those, logistical questions. But I think a big one, which is I find quite surprising, is how have you coped with losing friends?
Wow.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, if they're not real in your life, anything that happens traumatic, they're just like, get me out of here. I don't want to have to deal with your negativity, which is awful. So
how many friends did you lose?
None, because I have always been so careful of who I let in my circle. I have had people be mean to me before when I was at school. So I became very protective. So I know, and I'm still friends with those people now. It's been 8 years later. No one left me. Like, they've been such good friends, whereas not everybody has that. But I think you really learn through experiences in life who's there for you and who isn't. And I think if you've lost friends, that's great because it's a filter. And to see it as a positive thing. And there's, honestly, the amputee community is so strong. So, like, you may lose your friends, but you'll gain so many more.
I say it to my kids that it's like friends are like trees. So you've got the leaves, the friends that are leaves, and then they can be seasonal, they can blow away. Then you've got the branches that it takes a bit more, but they still break. And then you've got the trunk. I love friends.
Yeah.
So when they're telling me about a problem, I'll always say, well, what kind of friend are we talking? Was it a trunk friend or was it a leaf friend?
I love that.
Have it.
I'm going to steal that.
Sounds like you got loads of trunk friends.
Yeah. That's what you want. You want a trunk friend.
You want a trunk friend with a strong foundation.
Yeah.
But yeah, the leaf friends are actually good friends. They're good for a party. They're good for going out. They're the sort of frivolous, fun friends.
Yeah.
But they're not the ones that last.
Yeah. Because friends, like my mum said, always come and go. And so I think people that do come and go, they're still there to teach you a lesson. Or
the branches and the trees. The branches and the leaf friends.
Yeah. So it's like they're there to teach you a lesson. And I think that's important.
It sounds incredible what you're doing. And there sounds like, Ellie, there's a lot that you have had similar experiences with.
Yeah, because like when you were saying about the positiveness, I think my parents and I've always grown up quite positive with whether it's my disability. It sounded so similar, and that's why I was like, I always get asked like, how are you so positive? And sometimes I have to think to myself like, I don't know how I'm so positive. Like I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with my disability, all that type of stuff. Like, I think as women, we do have days, don't we, where like, oh, why have I got a bit of skin roll on there, or a bit like, why can't these clothes fit? But I think that's just like probably every single woman has those thoughts and feelings. So I think that how you were talking about your affirmations and your positivity, it resonated, and I was like, how are you so positive? Because I was like, is there any like similarities there. But yeah, I think I've been grown up, like I've got such a different family.
Yeah, start from the beginning. So tell us about how you came to be, where this positivity came about, and how it all started out for you.
So I'm adopted.
Yeah.
I was fostered and then adopted. And my parents, Val and Steve, they fostered, but they've also adopted 5 of us as well. And I think we've had a family that we've seen so many come-ins and go-ins, where 2 of my other siblings have got disabilities. And so I think we've been from a family that's just been so different. So I know what it's like to be different and to grow up in a society that is different. And my parents really like resonate being different and celebrate difference, and we can do anything no matter what. It might just be a bit different. Like kids always ask me, how do you drive? Well, I can still drive. I just have pedal extensions in my car. I've got stalls all around my house, which sometimes I like, but my friends always trip over. So I think for me, do you know, like they forget the stalls there and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I've got to reach the top shelf. But I think it's both being who I am. I'm very much a person who is very driven. If I see something, I want to get there and I want to do it. I'm very like, you know, when you've got something that you want to achieve, and yeah, it might be in a different way, but I think so. 1, it's personality, and then 2, it's from the surroundings and your siblings and your parents who give me positivity as well, knowing that I can do anything no matter what. And growing up with so many different people, I think I've been aware throughout my life that there's difference out there. And I think it's amazing now to see the likes of you, Milly, to see so many people on TV, on TikTok, on socials that are showing that there's difference, because I think that educates children and kids to know that society is so different and everyone should be celebrated. And it's amazing because before Athens 2004, I loved swimming. I loved doing sport. I was just a very active child. Like my mum said, if I was the first, I would have been the last, because I never sat on the sofa. Yeah, I never sat on the sofa. Like I was always having to be out, like on the scooter, on my trampoline, or on activities.
Or brilliant. They saw that in you and they nurtured that. They didn't just say, could you just sit down?
Yeah, I know. They were like, could you sit down? But I never did. I was always having to be doing something. And I'm like that now, really. I can't really sit down much. I have to be always doing something. I was swimming like at my swimming club with able-bodied, so non-disabled swimmers, and wasn't doing that well. But then I saw Athens 2004 on TV, the Paralympics, and saw people like myself on TV, and that was game-changing for us.
Right.
Because I was like, as a 10-year-old, I was like, wow, this Paralympic sport, there's people like me on TV, and it changed my life and it changed my perception. And it was like, wow, I can do something. I can swim, which I love, but I can swim for my country. I can swim at the biggest sporting event in the world. And I think that's why TV and social media and seeing people like yourself on TV, because you never know who you're going to inspire, or you never know whose life you're going to change. Like if I hadn't had that opportunity watching the Paralympics on TV, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have done what I've been able to do in the swimming world. So it's just amazing what social media and TV can do, that we need to show society on there. And so it's amazing to meet the likes of you, Milly, and to see so many people of talking about disability and talking about race, religion so openly, because it should be celebrated. But I think the disability, it's those educational questions that you even thought of, or you want to know yourself, and education is so important.
We're talking about how you come through those trials and tribulations and on the darker days that we all have.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that? How do you spin it around?
Do you know what? I think as I've got older, I've got a lot better. I think I'm just aware. Do you know, like sometimes we have days where you wake up moody and you're just like, and you don't, you know, when you like wake up, you're like, why am I feeling so rubbish today? But I've got better realising that that's okay. Like we're not always going to be happy. There's going to be days where we feel a bit lower. And those lower days, I always try and like ring friends or do more social stuff or go to the gym, you know, find things that actually makes us feel a bit better about ourselves, but also accepting that some days I'm going to feel a bit rubbish. And yeah, there's some days where I'm like, oh gosh, if I had like longer legs, I'll be able to wear those types of jeans. If I had bigger feet, I could wear certain shoes. I don't have to be wearing kids' shoes. But I think we all have those moments, and accepting that's just sometimes how we all feel, that's okay. And I think acceptance of knowing that we're going to feel low today, but we might feel higher tomorrow, and is very powerful, I think.
Well, with that all in mind, you just seem to be collecting accolades as you go. Gold medals, an MBE, then an OBE. What must that feel like for both you and your family? When you said before that you didn't even feel seen, and then suddenly you're representing your country, and your country is awarding you.
Do you know what I think? I don't know if you both feel like this. Sometimes, maybe it's my personality, but you forget to look back on the past. I think I'm very competitive, so I'm always like
next.
Yeah. So I'm always like looking at the next thing.
Okay, so what's the next thing?
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know, Myleene, at the moment. I'm just like, with the work that we do now, and like having retired like 4 or 5 years ago, you just take each day as it comes. But I think sometimes you forget to, and like even I had a work event yesterday, I took my medals to, and you forget that that's what you've achieved. But actually,
forgot you got to
like
gold
work.
medal.
Yeah.
But do you know what?
I'd be wearing those as earrings. I got 2 gold medals at the Olympics, the Paralympic. Like they would be my earrings.
Yeah, but I think it's just like we're all the same, and what I've done is just got medals to it, or has just got a BAFTA to it, or whatever. But actually, it's funny.
Yeah, a BAFTA.
Oh, thank you. But my BAFTA, I really want that in my house, where I live. But my parents took it straight away. They were like so proud. So
Steve, where have they put it?
They've put it with all my siblings' scrolls and all things like that.
Oh, they've got a wall. They've got a shrine. I've got a shrine. I've got a kid, but my kids have got a shrine too.
So I think I said I'm just about to move house, and I said I'm going to take my BAFTA and put it in, because I'm really proud of that achievement. But yeah, I think sometimes I forget to look at the past, but it does. Sometimes I think it's important to we stop and do look about what we've achieved in the past to help us motivate in the future. Just be thankful with ourselves and gratitude, isn't it?
I just feel the positivity emanating from you. The BAFTAs for your incredible documentaries. What was it like filming those? And again, having to, I guess it's tricky when you're having to keep ripping off Band-Aids or revisiting pains or the past, which you've just admitted something you don't like to do.
Yeah, I think we spoke about it, didn't we, Myleene, before this? I think it's really important that we've all had these moments and emotions, and I've always known I was adopted, but I've never had that right time to find out more about my birth family and find out about myself. And after my swimming career finished after Tokyo in 2021, I was ready to find out more about myself, because I've got like Glossip on my passport, which I've never been to Glossip. And I've got all these questions that I've had in my head. Like when you go to the doctors, people say, oh, what's your family history? I don't know what my family history is. Don't know what's been in my family. And I've seen so many series on TV about when people have found their families and all this. And I was like, I'm in this point of time where I'm ready to find out more about myself. And then an amazing production company, Flickr, I was speaking openly about it to them. And they were like, why don't we film it? Why don't we document it? And I thought to myself, like, actually, yes, because not many people talk about adoption. Not many people talk about being in the foster or in the care system. And I thought, I've got this opportunity to use my platform and use my voice to find out more and to talk about it openly. So then we documented it, and I was really lucky. I got to find more about myself, but also meet my birth mum. And I think having that trust with Flickr and also ITV and having this open relationship. But I think for me, since opening up about my adoption and being in the care system, so many people have come up to me and said, oh, they're adopted or they've been in foster. And I think, again, it's having that opportunity to open up conversation, and the power of talking is so powerful. And I think, yes, I show my emotions in it, but actually I think you connect, don't you, with the audience when you do show your emotions.
Well, they say that fear is contagious, but they also say that so is courage.
Yeah.
I mean, I would follow you both into the fray, because you both feel that you have, like I said before, so much positivity emanating from you that I think you could excuse yourself for not having. You could be very angry at the world, and neither of you have taken that path. Why?
I think in life you have two choices, right? To either struggle or to cope. And you have to pick one, and eventually, say you struggle and you're there for a long time, eventually you'll have to cope again. So for me...
Some people don't. Some people can't.
But it's tough, isn't it? Because I do believe that eventually people find their way. Whatever way that may be, I do think they get there. But I think it's about having the confidence and self-belief to grow that, to know that you will be okay again. I think that's super important. But yeah, for me, it was very, very quick that I was just like, right, I need to focus on this and focus on the positive and change the perspective to know that I will be okay. And I think that's not really widely done, or people don't really know how to do that. So it's just about sharing that and knowing that anybody can rewire their brain into more positive thinking. It just takes a lot of habit, a lot of practice, but anybody can do it.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, very much. And I think knowing that some people, we all have our trials and tribulations, we all have our setbacks in life, but every single person, like, even though they may be looking like they're happy or putting a front on, we've all got our problems or issues and things. And I think speaking about what we're going through or what a single person is going through, being open, I think that opens, again, I keep saying it, I feel like I'm being metronome, is that the word? Monotonous or whatever the part?
No, it's like reinforcing the message.
It's talking
important.
and opening up the conversation.
Catching the courage.
Yeah, it's really important that we're all
I agree.
Speaking to one another and having that support system is so support. And I know a lot of people out there don't have a support system.
Well,
but
that's the key,
yeah,
isn't it? It sounds
but
like.
if you reach out to maybe people on social media or go to groups or speak to a therapist, that there's people out there that will listen.
Able-bodied people get things so wrong, for sure, when it comes to differently abled or disabled people. I've seen it, I've heard it, I've been in those rooms. What would your messaging be? Not that it's your job to educate everybody, but where does it go so wrong so quickly?
And it's okay to get it wrong. I think not to shut down that sometimes you do say the wrong things, like we all say it. And I think if you ask questions, like, I'm not afraid to someone to ask questions about my disability, because if we shut people down, they're scared to learn then, scared to get educated. And I think, so opening up conversation, like when I see kids on the street and they're like, oh, mummy, why is that girl so small? I'm like more than happy for the parent to come and say, like, oh, to introduce the kid to me, so that the kid gets aware and educated that I'm different, I've got dwarfism, I've got achondroplasia. It just means I'm a bit smaller, I can still do anything else. But I think being okay to ask those questions and not be afraid to ask, and also not be afraid that we do get things wrong, and that's okay as well. It's human nature at the end of the day.
Now, are you just being very understanding? Are there others who might rightly say, no, I'm not here to educate you, don't come and ask me?
Yeah, there's always those people, yeah. And I think, like, again, I can't vouch for every disabled person out there, but I'm sure there's quite a few people that don't want to ask those questions, or get those questions answered. But I think if it was me at the end of the day, not to shut down people and but then we've got amazing people like Milly. We've got amazing other people who are disabled advocates on social media, to maybe reach out to them, just find that audience, but know that it's okay to get things wrong.
Adding to what you said, I think it's so important to let children ask questions, because I sometimes see parents shush them.
Don't say anything. I've seen that.
Yeah,
you're right.
And you're essentially teaching them that disabled people are different. You shouldn't look at them. You shouldn't speak to them. And then it makes sense why I've had people chase me in the street and be like, "What happened to you?" And
You've had people chasing you in the street,
and like people coming knocking on my car saying, "You can't park here. You're not disabled." I've had some really irrational behaviours. So I think people that have been grown up in that way, they don't know how to actually talk to disabled people, even though we are really normal human beings. Like, it's almost...
We don't bite.
I promise.
Oh my God. So what do you say when someone says to you, you can't park here, when they get all busy?
It's funny because it depends on my mood. Sometimes, because I also think of people who have invisible disabilities, who can't stand up for themselves.
Yes.
So I do, on one hand, say, I am physically disabled, and I show them and I say you shouldn't ask that question because you don't know how it brings up trauma. And I do tell people, but sometimes, like, there's this one moment where someone really chased me in the street and like tapped me on the back and went, "What happened to you?" And I was in just like such a state of shock.
I'm not surprised.
I froze. And luckily I was with my boyfriend and he said, "I don't think that's appropriate to ask to you." And then this guy was like, oh, and then just walked away. But I just thought, I was wearing shorts. Imagine if that was the first day that I felt confident to wear shorts, and then someone did that, and then it knocked my confidence. I think it's difficult because you don't know where someone is at in their journey to ask the question. But as long as you do it with like kindness and a nice tone, and you're caring for the individual rather than trying to satisfy your own nosiness, I think that's super important.
That's a great way to lead. So as a mum myself, and I would like to know that I'm asking the right questions and giving my children the right information. And you said, ask the questions. Just don't chase people down.
And do it nicely.
Yeah.
Do it nicely. I think that's good advice for all questions in general. Ladies, honestly, you are just absolute beaming lights. I feel just so full of positivity. I feel like we just gang together and save the world. It's been a real honour speaking to both of you. Thank you so much for giving your time.
Oh,
Thank you as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've loved it.
Yeah,
so it's been wonderful chatting away to you both.
So, girls, I'd like to introduce you to Boots Opticians optometrist and clinical services manager. This is John Hopcroft. That's quite a title. It sounds like you must do many things at Boots Opticians. Tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Yeah, so I'm an optometrist, so I can examine eyes and fit contact lenses. But as part of my day-to-day role, I also look at technology that we adopt into our practice, like our new Optomap system as part of our Ultimate Eye Check, and how we can do more than just eye checks at Boots Opticians.
John, talk us through how tech has really moved on now, because you're working with something called an Optomap.
Yeah, so Optomap's a huge leap forward in technology for us, helping us to examine eyes differently. So we used to capture an image of the back of the eye with something called a retinal camera, but that only used to capture about 15% of the retina that we were examining. And Optomap, simply put, allows us to see much, much more, up to 82% with just one single image. And we know that the eyes are a window to our health and also to our general health, helping us look for conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure. So it's really important that we get a really clear view of the eye that we're looking at. And also, eye conditions generally don't have lots of symptoms in early stages. So it's really important to attend an eye check so that we can look for those signs at the back of the eye.
Milly, how long have you been wearing glasses?
15 years. And Boots was actually where I went to get my first ever pair.
Oh, music to your ears.
Absolutely.
You don't have any glasses at all. Are you wearing contacts?
No, I'm not. I went to the Boots Opticians and I had all the examinations and it was amazing, wasn't it? What we could see. I was like, that is my eye. I saw everything in my eye, but I found out that my vision is really good.
Don't apologise for it.
Brilliant.
I'm jealous.
We're three of us in our glasses here.
But I got some amazing Boots sunglasses. But it was incredible to see what you guys do and what you can take photos of and look at the eyes. Wow, it was incredible.
Yeah, I was so impressed when I went and did it because obviously I've done it so many times. There were so many new softwares and it's so reassuring for me because I get a lot of migraines and pain in my eyes. So the fact that they could see more of my eye and said I'm okay, I just felt like such a relief. So it's so good to know that I'm all good.
My experience of going to the Boots Opticians was really, well, it was a life-changing one because they've given me contact lenses, but very focal contact lenses. I didn't know such a thing even existed.
Yeah, I mean, contact lenses have come on so far and so many people are suitable for contact lenses now, which I just don't think they realise. We can correct more prescriptions than ever before and they're also really comfortable. A great option to give you freedom from glasses, whether that's if you want to wear them all the time, if you just want to wear them occasionally, or even just for sports. And we know having great vision is really important for all of those things, and even for children as well. You know, gone are the days where it was okay to say, just take your glasses off for sports. And we know it can be quite daunting, a little bit anxious. I mean, I don't know how you felt.
I've worn glasses since I was 4 and they actually became a bit of a camouflage for me. Like I felt safer wearing the glasses and they got bigger and bigger, sort of like big Nana Muscuri pink glasses for me. So the idea of having any sort of contact lenses was just unheard of. But now I can't see the auto cue without my glasses. So the fact that you now have varifocals, which is like, the line that the nanas used to have, but now it's an invisible line. It's just an absolute gift. But they told me the tech is so good now that they've waited
Yeah.
They've weighted the lenses so that they can sort of spin around and correct themselves. Is that right?
Yeah. So some of the lenses, as you blink, push themselves into the right position. Other lenses have zones in the lens that are thinner, so they sit underneath your eyelids to align them better. So if you have astigmatism, it gets the lens into the correct position to give you the best vision.
So good.
It's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
So, John, my experiences of glasses and not being able to see much has been around music, but we've got two incredible sportswomen here. I either could do music or sport at the school I went to. And so I would say I can't do sport because I've got to wear my glasses. So I could go back and do music.
Oh.
I know, but you know when I hear you guys speak, and I just think it would have been nice for someone to go, come on, have the confidence
you
to.
could
there's
do
still
now.
time.
Yeah, to do sport now.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you.
I've got really into pickleball.
Oh
that.
my gosh, they got you.
Yeah.
They're getting everybody.
So you could still do
It's like
anything.
the tractor beams of pickleball.
But it is like now, like with glasses, like, and how incredible it is. And like you say, with contacts now, to not have that, like still people can now get in sport and do sport, and it's not a hindrance, is it?
Absolutely. I mean, contact lenses opens up so many opportunities that maybe might have felt closed before to some people. But also there's lots of other vision correction options for swimming, prescription goggles that allow you to see whilst you're swimming as well. So there's lots of things, and we can help find the right solution as part of your eye check.
Prescriptive goggles.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Game changer. A huge thank you to all my guests on See What's Possible, showing that, well, anything is possible. And of course, thank you to you for listening.
Are your eyes tired from all the watching, scrolling, and swiping? Essilor Eisen lenses are designed to reduce visual fatigue from digital screens. Relax and protect your eyes with Eisen lenses by Essilor. Ask for Eisen lenses at your Boots opticians.